Good morning. It's a pleasant good morning to every one of you here at the Jamaica School of Preaching and Biblical Studies in Kingston, Jamaica, and to all of you throughout the world who are joining us live or will join us later for the archived version of the Introduction to Biblical Hebrew class. I'm one of the teachers here at the Jamaica School of Preaching. I am Leslie Joseph Buckland Jr., or you can simply say Joseph or Joe. And we're going to be looking at a test that was just done. I'm going to bring the PowerPoint up on the screen. And after I have looked at this test, we're going to move on to the next lesson. The test is entitled How to Write the Hebrew Conjunction, and it is based on lesson number 20. I'm sorry if you cannot see the print. The print is quite small, but I will be reading the test and briefly going through it at this time. The first question on the test is, how is the conjunction ordinarily written? Now, the conjunction is ordinarily written as a vowel or a vav that has a simple schwa underneath it. Now, to just say that it has a simple schwa is not really the answer, because there are different consonants that have a simple schwa underneath it, but they are not the conjunction. The answer really is you are to write it out as a vowel that looks like an upside down hockey stick with two vertical dots underneath it called a simple schwa. Now, is there any question from the students or any comment on that? Number 2 is when the conjunction comes before a word and the first letter of this word has a simple schwa, how is the conjunction to be written? Well, there is a rule that says that two simple schwas cannot be together, cannot go immediately together, side by side. So some adjustment has to be made to the first simple schwa. And what happens is that in the case of the conjunction, which already looks like an upside down walking stick, or hockey stick, I should say, is that you still have the upside down walking stick or hockey stick, but instead of having two vertical dots underneath that upside down hockey stick, you have one dot in the middle or in the heart of that upside down hockey stick. It is the long vowel shurek, pronounced as our long English vowel sound U, pronounced U in Hebrew like the U in flute, and it is U, shurek. Number 3, any question or comment before I go on to number 3? When the conjunction comes before a word and the first letter of this word is a labial, that is a letter which is pronounced by the lips pressed together and released, such as b, m, p. How is the conjunction to be written? Well, the rule says that it is to be as the vowel, like the upside down hockey stick, with a dot in the middle, the same long vowel shurek, pronounced U, like the U in flute. Number 4, when a conjunction, and you perhaps can't make out those 4 words, those words are put before a word and the first syllable of this word is ye, that is a yod that has the simple shua underneath it, how is the conjunction to be written? Well, first of all, the simple shua under the yod disappears, and the simple shua under the waw also disappears, and what is left in its place is a dot, just a dot underneath the waw, and the dot under the waw and the yod to the left of the waw makes that new conjunction. It is pronounced we or vi. The yod plus the dot under the waw gives us the long kirik or long I sound as in machine, and it is pronounced we, W-I, we. Any question or comment on this? Number 5. Isha, can you go to that one? Number 5. When a conjunction is put before a word and the first letter is a guttural, and it has a composite schwa under the guttural letter, for example, patef, patha. How is the conjunction to be written? Well, you take the short vowel pathak that is there in the composite schwa, and you put a pathak underneath the waw, and that gives you wa, W-A, and it's a short a sound. Number 6, when a conjunction is put before a word, and the first syllable of the word is accented, especially when the conjunction connects a pair of words, how is the conjunction to be written? Well, in that case, it is to be a waw with a kamis a long ah sound underneath it. And that was the test. If any of you have further questions or difficulties about this test, you may always see me after class or email me, joe_buckland@yahoo.com, because I really want you to learn Hebrew. At this time, we're going to leave this and we're moving on to the new lesson, interrogative pronouns. Let us look at the general objectives and the specific objectives. Number 1, under the general objectives, to examine the interrogative pronoun who or who. 2, to examine the interrogative pronoun what. Specific objectives. 1, at the end of this lesson, the students will have identified 3 interrogative pronouns. Who, which is a subject pronoun. Whom, which is an object pronoun. And what. Number 2, at the end of this lesson, the students will have outlined 3 different vowel symbols of the interrogative what in Hebrew. Number 3, at the end of this lesson, the students will have explained briefly what is taught about the interrogative pronouns on the YouTube tutorial, if we do have time later on, a few minutes from now. And number 4, at the end of this lesson, the students will do a translation exercise of interrogative pronouns. Now, before I continue with this slide, let us think about what is the meaning of the word interrogative. Can anyone tell me what is meant by interrogative? It has to do with questions. When the police say that they are going to be interrogating a person of interest, it means that they're going to be questioning him to get information. That may lead to him being charged with a crime. So interrogative has to do with asking questions. And so the interrogative pronouns who and whom is what we're looking at now. The interrogative question pronoun who, subject, or whom, object, is me, mem, followed by the long vowel kiri. This is mem, pronounced m. And this is the long vowel kiri, consisting of the yod to the left of mem and the dot underneath mem, and pronounced me, me. So when you use me, it may be translated either as who, which would refer to the subject, or whom, which would refer to the object. One word for either who or whom. The context will indicate whether you should translate it as who, the subject, or whom, the object. But it is translated by the one word me. Me. Its form is fixed, so it does not change. Me does not change. And you may have an inseparable preposition before it, like le. Le means to. So when you put le before me and join them together, you get le me, le me, le me, le me, le me. Le me means to whom. Le me means to whom. Or if you join min, which is the preposition from, to me, what happens is the noon, the n in the min, drops out, and to compensate for the dropping out of the noon or the n, there is a dagesh forte compensative, which is put in the heart of mem, which doubles the mem. So what you have is m, I, and notice the two m's, m, m. It is this mem here that has been doubled. M, M, I. Mimi, 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 meaning from who? Mimi, from who? Mimi, from who? So, let me hear you say me. Me. Again? Me. Again? Me. No, not me. Me. Me is short. Me is a short sound, but me is the long I sound. Me. Le me. Le me. Le me. Le me. Mimi. Mimi. Good. So me is who, subject, or who, object. Le me is to whom. Mimi is from whom. Any question on that? Okay, let us move on. The interrogative pronoun what and the different ways of writing the vowel. The interrogative pronoun what is mem, he. Mem is M, as you see over here, and he is H. And it is pointed, excuse me, with the same vowel signs as the definite article. And here they are. Before ordinary consonants, that is, excluding gutturals and resh, it is ma, that is mem, patak, the short up, and he. Followed by dagesh forte. So let us look at an example. You have ma and you have makef, which binds one word to the other, connects one word to the other. Ma, makef, you say, only that you don't say makef, it just is a sign that one word is joined to the other. Ma, ze, ma, ze. Now notice, just as in the definite article, when the definite article has patak underneath the a, what follows is that the first letter of the word that the definite article is joined in has a dagesh forte that doubles the letter. So notice what I've done. I have ma, m, a, h, the short a here. I have the dash, and notice I have two z's or z's. Two z's. Z, z. It is this zayin here, the z. That is doubled by this dagesh forte. And then you have the segol, the short e, and you have a, which is our h. So you have maze, 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 two z's. And that is, what is this? What is this? The is understood. It's not actually there in a Hebrew word, it's just understood. What is this? This is what, and this is this. This is this. What is this? Maseh. Maseh. Okay. So before ordinary consonants, that is, excluding gutturals and resh, you find that the ma has a patak, a short a sound underneath the mem. Before aleph, represented by the apostrophe in English, and resh, which is represented by our r, it is ma. This time it's not patak, it is the long vowel a, commas a, long vowel a. So it is ma. This is ma, this is ma, ma, ma. And let us look at it in a sentence. Ma ani. What am I? The am is understood. It's not really in a Hebrew word. It's not really translated. But it is understood that that's what you are meaning. What am I? This is what, and this is I. Ma, what? Ani, I. This is the personal pronoun I. But it is understood that there is an am. What am I? Ma, ani. What am I? So before aleph, here is the aleph. Before aleph and resh, it is commas a underneath the mem, a long a sound. Ma, ani. What am I? Number 3, before a, our H in English, and kef, our CH with a hard sound, or K, It is ma. Again, a shortened ox sound. So in the sentence, what is he? You have mahu. Mahu. Ma is what? Who is he? And the is understood. I put it in brackets so you can understand I'm not translating a specific Hebrew word. Mahu. Mahu. What is he? Before a guttural with comments, there is a guttural, ayin, with a comments, a. It is mem. Mem, segol, a. So in the question, what has he done? It is me asa. Me with the makef, asa. Me asa. Asa means he did. Asa is a verb that means he did or he has done. But when you're putting it in a question form, you will say, has he done? Not he has done, but has he done? With the what before it, what has he done? Me asa. Before a guttural with comments, it is me. So before ordinary consonants, it is hatak under the mem. Before aleph and resh, it is, these are consonants, and these are gutturals, except this, not called a guttural, but it has the same effect as a guttural. So before aleph and resh, it is a kames a under the mem. Before a and kef, which are also gutturals, it is hatak under the mem. And before a guttural with comments, it is me. A segol is under the mem. So it is pointed with the same vowel signs as the definite article is pointed. Any question or comment before I move on to the next slide? It's something you have to look at on your own when you get it later on today. Look at it over and over. Yeah.
I want to know exactly when I see that I want to know what to know exactly what is making this.
That's this.
That's
the word this. Z. That's segol, which is he. Segol, which is e. And that's z. 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 And that is h. Yeah.
Don't give me some
That's segol. Okay, that is a dagesh forte. That means that the zayin or the z or z is to be doubled or repeated. Because when you have ma before z, the first letter gets a dagesh forte, which means it is to be repeated. That's why I repeated the Z. Yeah, that's dagesh forte in the side, in the Z. Yeah. Any other question? All right, I'm giving you a break. It's now 11:21. Next week we will continue on the interrogative pronoun. But let me give you some valuable advice. This subject Based on my experience, people are different, so it might not be your experience. But I think it is generally true. This subject is harder than any other subject you're taking right now. It demands more brain power than any other subject. If you do not study it on a daily basis, whether there is going to be a test on the lesson or not, you're going to lose it from your head. What I have learned from studying languages is that when you don't use it, you lose it. When you don't use a language, even if you are an expert in the language, if you don't use it regularly, you lose it. And this is even more the case of a language like this one, which is tough. Its symbols are different from many other languages. And therefore, don't wait until you're going to be tested on a lesson to study the lesson. You need to be looking at the lesson every day. And what makes this even more important is that you don't have a Hebrew grammar book to study from. Most of you are completely dependent on whatever grammar you get in your PowerPoint lesson. So if you don't read it, even just read it and understand it, even one time each day, you're not going to really understand what is being taught in the class. Many students where I studied dropped out of their classes because they were not able to cope with it. And I understand. When I was studying, I had to spend hours each day, not because I was to study for a test, but just for me to understand what was taught. I had to go to my dorm and study this for hours just to try to fix it in my brain. Now, I'm not the brightest of persons, but I had to study hard to try to learn it. Okay, so I just want to caution you, don't wait for test time to start to review your lesson in Hebrew. Is there anyone who has a question on that? It will be to your advantage to read it over and over again. And even past lessons that we are finished with, we're never really finished with it because we still need to draw on that knowledge in order to answer questions. If we forget about Dagesh Forte, then this is not going to make sense when we see a dot right there in the heart of the letter. That's a lesson we covered long time ago, but we still need to remember it. So don't forget your past lessons. I notice that some of you have difficulty, not as much as it was before, in writing the Hebrew letters themselves. Well, we studied the Hebrew alphabet long time ago, but it doesn't mean that we should forget it. We have to keep looking over past lessons, and then we will be able to understand the Hebrew language well enough to do well in our tests. But congratulations to you. You did well in your Hebrew test. I think you thought to yourself, I am not sure if I did well, but you did well in your test. Congratulations. It showed that you put out a lot of effort to try to understand the Hebrew lesson that we were being tested on today. Okay. All right, you may go. I've taken up a lot of your time. Let me give you, you're not going to lose any time. It's now 11:26. So for the third year students only, we will resume at 11:36. And remember, there is a test on the New Age movement, part 1 and part 2. So it's just going to be a test in New Age movement in the hour that we have at 11:36. You may go and come back in 10 minutes, those for world religions. This afternoon at 1:30, we resume for years 1 to 3 in communication studies. There is no test in communication studies today. We're starting a new lesson. We're going to be looking at different styles of writing. Okay then. So it's now 11:27. So Isha and Orain can come back at 11:37, 10 minutes from now. Okay, thank you all, students. Thank you all from the internet world for joining us for Hebrew. And God bless all of you. We'll resume in 10 minutes' time, God willing. Well, not in 10 minutes. Since they're going to be doing a test, we won't be having the YouTube presentation. But at 1:30 for English, we will have the YouTube presentation. Okay.